Hello, everyone, and welcome in to episode 19 of the Power Rangers Cyber Strike. Starting a little early today. That's fine. Ooh, for me. Because of scheduling conflicts and the such. That's fine. We live and we adapt. So, I am now going to unmute in my Discord as per and introduce you to the cast once more. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 So a few things this time, yes. Like I've already mentioned, we are starting an hour early because scheduling conflicts. One of our players needs to leave for work. Got to earn that bread. And Mr. Hardluck, who plays the role of Scott, will not be joining us today because they are under the weather. And I do not wish to make them sit through near 3 hours of me nerding out and telling a story.
We all collectively agreed that Scott would be in the med bay for the time being. Then,
Yeah. No, yeah. I kind of, but that's what I went with. But nevertheless, as I said,
Scott
welcome
did
in.
kind of get his shit stomped.
No, he stomped last session, and then at the end, it was like, okay. But yeah.
Look, he went Super Saiyan. He needs to rest.
Yeah.
He's in the lacta tank.
Yeah. No, don't bring that crap here. Anyway, as I said, welcome into Power Rangers Cyber Strike episode 19. I will introduce you to the cast, and then I will give you a recap of what happened last session, and we will continue on. First and foremost, playing the role of Marika Hammond, the Red Cyber Strike Ranger, it is Chocolate Zombie. No response. Great. Rocco, you there?
I think they might be away.
Oh. Well, never mind. They are here. Not at the mic. Playing the role of Arrow, the Yellow Cyber Strike Ranger, it is Cryptic Cyanogen.
Nova, the voice is talking to me again.
Same joke every bloody week. Playing the role
It's like he's consistent.
Yes. Playing the role of Nova, the Blue Cyber Strike Ranger, it is the Luna 13.
I am the one that has to leave early. I'm the one that has to get that bread.
Yep. It's common with like when you start a new job and stuff. That's just the way it goes.
We can't play blows this time. I'm sorry.
Introducing the newest member of the cast, playing the newly revealed Proto Ranger, aka Orchid, the mysterious robotic friend, is Dynamo Tom.
Yeah.
And a few words. And lastly, introducing our resident Catman and Black Cyber Strike Ranger, it is Rosso06.
Meow.
He also says the same thing every week. Are you noticing a pattern here, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, I'm the cat. Of course, I gotta do something, you know.
Well, see, here's the thing. He's a cat man, so he's saying meow every single week. It could mean something different.
Yeah. And of course, usually playing the role of Scott, our Green Cyber Strike Ranger, it is Mr. Hardluck. But as we said, he is ill, and I would prefer him to rest up and not force himself to get worse. So, on the last episode of Power Rangers Cyber Strike, the Rangers were continuing their somewhat stealth-led mission in taking a staging outpost that was found on a planet nearer to the green zone. that was being set up as a staging point, the Grand Alliance believes, for an invasion. The Rangers had secluded themselves in the central control tower of the outpost and began downloading and simultaneously transferring it to the Gamma megaship in orbit. During this time, the then invisible friend, who is now known to be Orchid, was also on the planet, staging their own sabotage-esque type mission. Upon figuring out that someone was also at the outpost, Orchid strived to figure out who and what was going on. Who was there and what was going on. Meanwhile, the resident forces of the Alliance of Evil were trying to stop the interlopers by breaking into the central tower, much to less than effective means, giving Scott the time to morph and take down the surrounding security, working surprisingly well and in tandem with Orchid. After dispatching the current enemies, the Rangers were met face to face with this individual, and before they could ask any questions, were once more met with Commander Garrock, or should we say General Garrock, who was demoted after his failure to protect the Zord station. During this what's the word? During this meeting, Garrock had formed an energy shield or an energy prison around the remaining Rangers, forcing combat against Orchid, who he seemed to recognize based on the other stealth attacks that Orchid had been perpetrating against the various forces of Dark Spectre. And in this battle, Orchid was hit with a large explosion, with Garrock assuming the victory in the battle was his. But before turning his ire to the rest of the Trap Rangers, out from the smoke, in a flash of rosy pink energy, the invisible friend, as the Rangers were calling the individual, stepped out in the form of almost a prototype version of their Ranger forms, with a few little modifications and tweaks. Garrock was then handily dispatched before, without any warning and the blink of an eye, the Rangers and the individual were teleported off of the planet and from the outpost as the Gamma megaship rained fire down on the said outpost and destroyed it wholly, leaving the Rangers and this individual on the teleportation deck of the Gamma megaship in the presence of a stunned Professor Daxian. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we pick up our session.
So before Daxia has any chance to say anything, Noses to shout, "Glyph, get us the fuck out of here!"
The ship already went into FTL after the
Okay.
blitz. Yeah.
Question: do we have our dropship?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
If not, because I forgot to use the dropship to get down to the planet. If not, it will return on autopilot. It is capable of FTL.
It's just 1d20 days away.
But yeah, the gamma got out of there, and it wouldn't be much to have the ship return. In fact, I will say that once things started going south, the dropship had already gone back into orbit and reconnected with the gamma.
Rip my ship. You served your job.
Your ship was a small, stolen individual.
Yeah, it did its job. It probably went up with beautiful flames with the outbase.
So, as you arrive on the deck, 3 of you are still more, and without even uttering the words, you power down Errol, Scott, and Marika.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just gray it out. Oh, yeah. Scott is looking a little worse for wear. He did effectively fight off most of the surrounding enemies in the outpost by himself, along with the aid of Orchid at the last closing moments. It would be the best case scenario for him to go to the ship's med bay. So who would like to do that?
Where are your medical facilities?
I go and pick him up, like prop him up on a shoulder.
This man needs attention.
Professor Daxian instantly just goes Glyph, prepare the medical facilities, and walks out of the room, indicating for you all to follow.
I follow. Propping up Scott.
Whilst we're walking, Dwayne's going to give the blaster cog hit that he took to Professor Daxian, and he's like, "I got another one for you."
Thank you, Dwayne. I will look at this later. We have more pressing concerns. He takes the
Yeah, I'd say we do there, Professor.
As you come into the med bay, you can already see one of the tables working automatically as Glyph pipes up over the ship's intercom systems.
All facilities have been prepared. Professor.
Thank you, Glyph. Lay him down here. And Professor Daxian indicates where you can lay down Scott.
Lay him down.
That come through, by the way.
His readings are weak.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
His readings are weak but stable.
Place him down. Make sure anything's hooked up that needs to be hooked up. And then just turns to face Daxian.
Professor Daxian presses a few things on the screen, and you see like a full circle type apparatus come around the bed, and it starts scanning Scott. And Professor Dax, after a few minutes, he sighs. Says Daxian, great exhaustion. Scott pushed himself too hard. Not an uncommon occurrence, especially within the green spectrum of the morphing grid. The more we discover, the less we know. And he then turns to the rest of you. I'm assuming with expectant looks from Aero, Marika, Nova, and Dwayne. I suppose there is a lot to talk about then.
Yeah. First of all, who, what, when, where, how, and why? As I just look at Orchid.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Professor Daxian, he pulls up a chair. He sits down. And he's just staring at Orchid in wonder. You said the Sentinel project was not a failure. Does
I
that
am
mean
here, am I not?
you should not be able to?
The grid decided otherwise.
Because you weren't morphed, you had powered down already. Perhaps I should start at the beginning.
Dwayne's gonna pull up a chair. Well, we got time to sit.
Yeah, that's
I notice everyone pulling up chat.
Yes. Do we really have time for this? Do you not have data in the cockhead that needs to be extracted?
The data will be extracted regardless. We are heading back to planet Zybria.
not only that, it's gonna take us. It won't take too long to get all the stuff off that head. Professor, real quick, what do we find out from that transfer?
We won't know until we get it deciphered, which is why we are heading back to Zybria. It will expedite the process.
Understood.
It took us, what, 1.5 days to get here? So that would be 1.5 days to get back.
Can I roll what I guess the technology check to see if I know what type of robot Orchid is?
I mean, you can. You're about to get the story, but sure. Give me a
Actually,
science.
you know what? That's just reminded me as well. I will also roll technology because I have Gearhead, and one of my hang-ups is I need to know when something brand new and shiny is in front of me. I have to know how it works.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go. 26.
Technology is a D2.
I just kind of look perplexed at you all while you
no,
are pulling
'cause-
up chairs and staring at me.
Considering that we know about alpha units, does that confer any bonus or anything to that, or
No. Just roll.
Five can play at this game. I'm gonna roll an alertness for insight to why they're all staring at me.
Sure. What is everyone's collective? You might want to change from private, by the way.
Ah,
What is everyone's collective cleverness?
Mine is 14.
14?
That is a critical success.
14.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Tom, Orchid sees Nova
13.
and he Nova's actually you can tell he's trying hard not to actually gush out and geek out at the sight of you. Not in a creepy way, but oh my god, this is so cool type of thing. He's playing it cool, but he's like this is you can tell that this man that in front of you is a tech, and this is the type of stuff he lives for.
In terms of Dwayne, it's kind of that sort of cat behavior of new person who this.
Yeah. So
And
you
also
all...
looking at the inner, wondering what the inner workings are like.
Yeah. So the four of you, or the three of you that rolled, you're looking at Orchid, and you've seen the design kind of before. You 100% know that this is an alpha unit, but it's a lot taller. It's more human or I say human before proportioned, humanoid proportioned, and it's far more like almost sleek in a way compared to alpha units. You feel like this is not designed to be an assistant, but more, well, obviously a combat unit. Orchid, you're looking at them all, and you can tell they're just curious. They're like, what? They're just like, why? What? Who are you? Like, where have you been? Where did you come from?
Where did you go?
I expect better from you. Professor Daxian just said, okay, everyone just calm down. As I said, I should probably start from the beginning. You see, the Cyberstrike protocol wasn't always planned to be what it is now. One sec.
I just kind of tilt my head with all your looks on me while Daxian begins to explain.
Sorry, noisy house. I had to close my door. In the earliest days of the war, Edenoi was raised, and Arc Spectre's forces had the grand foothold that they have now. We were trying to figure out a way to infuse the grid with Alpha Youth. It was, at first, a hypothesis, merely theoretical. But after the destruction of Edenoi, Commander Kruger and the rest of the generals and admirals decided that it may be worth pursuing in full haste. And myself and my other Edenite researchers agreed. So I was headed up the project. We were moved to a undisclosed location. We were set up shop, and for years we tried to infuse the power. We had the knowledge of the Bast Rider powers and the rest of the grid and what we knew, but all efforts had failed. In the end, it was considered too costly, and we shifted to traditional Ranger means. So the Blackout Protocol was authorized, and the facility was destroyed. You should not have been able to be here. Everything... The blast was strong enough to wipe out most of the facility. The rest was probably buried. Where have you been?
I guess in that terms, I was buried.
Are you saying that you were at the research facility?
From what I can recall, after the project was terminated and the facility was shut down, all of the prototype units were deactivated and put into storage. Oh, that is what we were told, I assume. And then, an unknown amount of time later, my pod was reactivated. It was dormant, but it was reactivated. So I resumed calculating the Alpha Strike protocol.
So, your pod was reactivated. that would mean one of the central computer banks were still fully functional. How much do you know?
I know a basic understanding of what is going on from what I was able to scrape from the active networks that we were still connected to. I know the situation of the war. I know the problem with the supersonic ranger. I know that it is not looking good. I know that Eden Light is gone.
Yes, well, it has been years since Edenoi fell. The rest of the Edenites are scattered, and my nephew is currently looking for my brother. But this is remarkable. All tests failed. We could not bond a unit to the grid. This is remarkable.
I had a lot of time to process and develop and recycle and iterate. And then what must be
Takes like a moment to process.
a couple of months ago, by your standard, there was a search and a sudden flux with something about an access code that sparked it all together and overloaded the pod.
Professor Daxian nods and then looks to Aero, Marika, and Nova.
You think us morphing had something to do with it?
Well, it could very well be. If Orchid's pod, a central mainframe computer from the facility, was still working, it was connected to everything we did. It was uploading research and information to the Alliance, but if it had reactivated and no one had noticed it, it might not have. It might have caused a blip in the system, not worth investigating. And of course, us finally getting the sequencing codes to bond the Cyberstrike powers to you could have resulted in awakening Orchid. So you've been fighting all these months by yourself? We had received
What?
We had received reports of some uprisings and whispers of an individual, but they're not uncommon. But to think.
Once
Dwayne's
I
got a good upper hand.
emerged,
Go ahead, Tom. Tom, I'm giving you the floor.
Uh-oh, Tom, you there?
In character, I would stop my hand. Your hand is raised, so I would look at you.
Dwayne is gonna be like a little bit serious, and then he's gonna look at Professor Daxian and be like, "Okay, I'm sensing a bit of a pattern here. Professor, be honest. Just how many other projects are there that have been put to the wayside or have been considered lost?"
Well, anything relating to the Cyberstrike protocols, none. We of course were planning on building the Zords, but materials were non-efficient. But the Sentinel program was years ago. I assure you, Rangers, there's nothing else being kept away, but this honestly was not worth mentioning because we were sure it was completely dead and buried.
And
Yeah,
you
but
were sure the facility was non-existent, but we found it. This is why I'm asking.
no, like, I was also going to add the fact that you guys were also sure about the Zord protocol, and we remember how that turned out.
Mhm.
That's why we're hesitant. We need to make sure that there's nothing left.
Those were the only things I knew about Rangers. If there's anything else, then I am as in the dark as you are. But
Okay, but I'm just saying, like all the secret development stuff, we keep randomly finding it. Is there some kind of super armor that we're going to find next?
Or
Blinks.
maybe some kind of mech suit or something. I don't know.
I
Rangers,
wouldn't be against either of those things if I'm being honest.
I understand, Rangers, but believe me, I am as shocked as you are. Though
Maybe we can ask Commander Kruger if there's any things that we may find out there. We could take
I
all the
don't-
advantages we could get.
With all due respect, Dwayne, I don't think the commander would so easily give up top secret information to us, even though we are Power Rangers.
At the same time, Captain, like him keeping stuff from us could actually lead or jeopardize our missions. We saw what it's done so far. I'm sure he'll understand that. My only question: what now?
For now, I think we need to head back to Cybria, get this information to the commander, and wait for our next move.
the pros in this situation far outweigh the cons. With the Zord facility and the Machine Empire trying to build them for us, we gained a great boon. We gained a great boon. We have the Cyberstrike Zord. Now, we have a new ally. Remind me, Tom, what was the name of the person?
Orin.
Professor Daxian, I can confirm the blackout protocol was a success. When I emerged, the facility in the most part was gone. I found myself in a room beneath it in, like I said, storage, but I assume now that that was not the original plan.
Dwayne's going to put up his fingers, mostly. That's twice I've heard that.
But the thing is, I oversaw the destruction and the dismantling of the units myself. Unless... Oren, my friend. Oren must have
Who?
a fellow researcher that was working on the Sentinel program with me. He must have placed the units in storage in the hope that maybe he could still continue on in secret. That might explain the reasons as to why there was still a central mainframe working. I had no knowledge of a facility underneath the outpost or the...
Question. Was the facility when we first met, Dwayne's going to look at Orchid and be like, I don't exactly know what to call you.
You can call me Orchid. Or if you
Okay.
prefer, my serial number is Unit 50905198876. But I would prefer if you called me Orchid.
Orchid will be fine. Was the facility where we found you that specific, I don't know, Sentinel program facility, or is that somewhere
No.
else?
The original site, like Professor Daxian mentioned, is Rebel. It is gone. Where the storage I was located underneath collapsed shortly after my awakening from the overload of the grid. The location you first found me at was one of the current pit stops I was making while I was following out my plan.
Right. And here I was thinking maybe we could go digging for some info.
If it is info about me you require, Professor Daxian should have access to it.
We still have access to I still have access to the early protocols. But I've pretty much told you all I can. The Alpha Sentinel units were made to be a group of rangers so that we could lessen the loss of life. Alpha unit, their core is their program. They are far more advanced than regular machines. It's almost like they have their own heart. That is why we supplied one to the forces of Eltar, and one Zordon of Eltar specifically.
I know I saw several back home. Very good workers, very loyal to the cause of whatever they're doing. And a hint of sarcasm in their voice. They're always fun to talk to.
If Oren was here, he would be proud. Proud that the Sentinel program worked. Proud that at least one of you survived. Though I could have done without him going behind my back.
Do you know the location of where Oren is now? I was not able to find any information when I was active on you or any traces, which is why I ended up taking the route I did.
At this question, Professor Daxian kind of like sighs heavily, and he kind of just like slumps down a little bit in the chair. I am sorry, Orchid, but of the researchers from the Sentinel program, I am the only one still alive. Once the Sentinel...
Orchid is just statuesque for a moment.
That you know of.
No. I am the only one left. Once the Sentinel program was shelved and the Blackout Protocol was initiated, we moved to other facilities. It was at the same time the war was escalating. Somehow, Dark Spectre's forces found out that there was a bunch of Edenite researchers trying to come up with what they believed to be a weapon to use against them, and so we were hunted mercilessly. Before we were able to gain greater ground with the other researchers and the other planets coming to our aid. Well, my friends were not so lucky to survive.
Unfortunate cost of this war.
I am sorry.
Understood.
Professor Daxian stands up and approaches Orchid and places his hands on his shoulders. That we will have to tell the commander and the rest of the admirals of your presence. I promise you they will not take you away from us. And
Okay.
I am sorry. Oren considered all of you unit, yourself and the other 4, basically as his children. He would never admit it out loud, but he did. He would be proud. I know I am.
Thank you, Professor.
Should, he then turns to look at everyone still in the room. Scott is safely now stable and is just sleeping it off. He's in a medically induced sleep. I should consolidate the information we have ready to be transferred to Central Command. While the ship makes its way to Zyber, I suggest you all rest up and perhaps show Orchid around. You did a good job, Rangers. I am very, very proud of you. Destroying this outpost means that we have gained an upper hand now. Dark Spectre's response may come fast, but he knows he is vulnerable now, or at least his generals do. And he picks up the other coghead and kind of like smiles at Dwayne a bit before leaving the med bay.
Dwayne's gonna smile back.
Oh, the 4 of you, well, the 6 of you are all in the med bay. Scott unable to speak to you for obvious reasons. What do you all do?
Rafe is actually gonna follow the professor.
Sure. Any particular reason why?
One, she wants to see if she can help him with the data, and 2, she actually has a question for him.
Fair enough. The rest of you, what would you be doing? What would you like to be doing?
I will be going to the main bridge, going to a computer and working on the thing that I was telling you about, that I DM'd you about.
Oh, I would say go to the R&D.
The R&D outpost then.
Yeah. Okay. Arrow?
Errol will just follow Nova around. Might see if he can help him or not.
Dwayne, what would you be doing?
I'll give Orchid a tour around then. Just show him like the main areas and whatnot.
Cool. Okay, cool. We shall go then to Marika and Professor Daxian first. So Professor Daxian has just walked out of the med bay. I assume, Marika, you excuse yourself from the group.
Mm-hmm.
and chase after him.
Not really chase after him, but just kind of try to catch up to him.
He turns back. He turns his head, looks behind him as he hears your footsteps behind you. Is there something more I can help you with, Captain?
No, actually, I thought I'd maybe try to help you, see if you needed any assistance with the data.
It's very kind. I would appreciate it.
And I also had a question, if you don't mind me asking.
Of course not.
Assuming that we have the database for us for the Cyberstrike Rangers, I'm assuming there is a database for every other Ranger team that's existed, correct?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, I know that some planets keep a record. A lot of it turns into folklore, of course, but any official Ranger team that works closely with its military will have.
I was actually hoping if I could gain access to the any of the Red Ranger databases. I was hoping to do a little, let's call it studying. Learn more about my, I hesitate to use the word predecessors, but my fellow Red Rangers.
A fair request. Believe if you use one of the terminals on the bridge, you will be able to access what information we have. Your clearance as a military operative and now a cyberstrike ranger would undoubtedly give you what you need to seek. Although I do question as to what is it particularly you are looking for?
I'll be a little bit honest. There's a part of me that, despite being the Red Ranger, there's a part of me that feels like I haven't lived up to the leadership aspect of it. As good of a job as we've done, I feel like I've been more of a silent partner, so to speak, and less of a leader. I was hoping to maybe see what made myself set apart from the other Red Rangers and see what I could learn from them.
This Axion kind of regards you, kind of nods. Tell me, Captain, and you both reach the bridge at this point as he sets the cog head on the table. And you can already see some of the computers and screens around working through some things. Captain, what do you think a leader is?
She kind of stares into space for a minute. Well, for everything I've been taught, working with the military, being a captain, leader has to be fair. Leader has to know when to exert themselves properly, in a sense. But at the same time, they have to be strict, they have to be tough. Not for the sake of just being crude and being tough, but for the sake of making sure that their team is both properly disciplined and knows what's at stake, I guess.
And do you believe you fit any of those qualities?
If you would have told me this while I wasn't a ranger, I probably would have said yes, but I guess the jump of now going from being a regular human military personnel to an actual Power Ranger has kind of made me, I don't want to say feel like I'm not cut out for being a leader, but maybe has made me feel like I wasn't as prepared for this as I thought I was.
Do you feel you have changed since gaining the powers of the Cyber Strike Ranger?
In some ways.
Do you care to elaborate?
I know we've only known each other for a while, and you probably you probably haven't met me before the whole Cyber Strike protocol went on, but as a soldier, especially as a captain, I won't lie and say that I had a lot of bravado. Of course you were there when we were learning about the Cyber Strike protocol in the first place, and despite the fact that I questioned whether or not I was part of the candidates that were selected for this process, I was more than willing to go out there by myself, fight entire armies on my own because I felt like I could do it. Now, starting to believe that that was stupid of me. Which is fair because with the battles that we've fought, there's no way that one person would be able to take on an entire armies by themselves, but you might say that maybe I lost that I guess you could say that spark of ambition. But at the same time, I've become more and more used to working with other people. More so than when I was part of the military. Call it growing pains, I guess.
It is understandable. However, if I may, you were not chosen simply because of your exemplary military career. You see, many had a hand in picking out the candidates for the Cyber Strike protocol, myself included, but Commander Kruger had the final say on most. Now, while Arrow and Nova were simply in a situation of right place, right time, I believe another aspect also played a part. And that is the morphin grid itself. I am a man of science, but I am also not blind to the truths of our universe. In that, there is so much more that we don't know. Morphing grid is one such entity. You were chosen, Marie. Not just by us, not just by Commander Kruger. The grid itself. You possess all the qualities of a leader. But more so than that, you possess the qualities of someone people can look to. Don't take me, for example. I should be a king. I am the firstborn brother, or son, of the royal house of Edenon. And yet I forsook my throne in favor of my brother. Because while I am confident in my abilities to advise, I cannot lead. My brother inspired hope. held together our people in our darkest time. I've been watching you these months, Marika. Believe me, there is no one better suited to the role of the Red Ranger than you. Whatever confidence issues you may have, I cannot abide them for you. But believe me when I say that we made the right choice, as did the grid. Of course, I will not deter you from looking up your fellow Red Rangers. Each one different in their own way, but all possessing one similar trait. Trust. Trust that they can protect their allies and their comrades as much as their comrades and allies can protect them.
She kind of nods her head. Everyone else trusts me, it seems, so I guess I should learn to trust myself as much as everybody else.
The mantle of leadership is not one to be taken lightly. But it does take an exemplary person to lead others. I am certain that you are the correct choice.
Well, hopefully I can live up to it.
You already have. You already have. He turns around and starts typing up on some of the on the panels for connecting the wires of the cog head
Mm-hmm.
the panel.
There's a pause, and then Marika kind of sounds up. Does the Sheba clan mean anything to you?
Kind of turns around and just goes, I've never heard of it, no.
This is from Japan back on Earth, an old clan of people that dates several hundred years back. My family, before we were sent into space for the war against Dark Spectre, we're a very, very distant offshoot of the Sheba clan. I only heard stories as a kid of my family's ancestry, but rumors were that people in my family, well, at least in the Sheba clan, could do some very extraordinary things. Suppose I can add to that legacy now that I'm a ranger.
I did not know anyone from Earth had came into outer space. I did not think them capable of the technology. Not from what Zordon has sent us, but maybe they are. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe they've kept secret.
Possible. Again, I'm a product of the military. My family, both my mom and my dad, have been with the military for years. I wasn't exactly born on a planet. I was born on a military base, and basically, pretty much my entire life, we pretty much base hopped. So,
Yes, that much was in your file.
I don't know. It was something on my mind.
Apologies, I cannot help, but I have never been to Earth or that sector of the galaxy, I'm afraid.
She's gonna continue. At this point, she's just gonna try to continue to help the professor with the data, and also on the side, she'll try to get one of the terminals up and start looking at Red Rangers.
Yeah, it's freely accessible to you, and as that happens, and yeah. I'm gonna say we go back in time just a little bit. And we shift over now to Dwayne giving Orchid the tour of the megaship. We flash back now a little bit. You're in the med bay. You've just seen Aero and Nova walk out. Dwayne and Orchid, do you begin?
Dwayne's gonna actually look at Orchid and be like, where do you want to begin? We've got various places to check out.
Curious, what are your manufacturing facilities like here?
Oh, the workshop. Yeah, that's my favorite. That's actually my little place on the ship, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I tend to be the hardware guy, actually. When it comes to making, breaking, or, fixing stuff up. That's usually where I'll be, in the workshop. And, might even be cases for upgrading weapons as well.
Interesting. Then let's begin our tour there.
Cool.
Above game, like that's where Nova went.
Yeah. Don't worry.
I thought Nova went to the bridge.
No,
No.
like for what he needs to do, he needed to go to R&D.
Ah, okay. Right. Well, I guess we're just following Nova then, going to the workshop.
So you walk over there. Dwayne and Orchid, as you walk in, you see Aero and Nova just off to the side. Nova chatting to Aero about something about what he has on screen.
Dwayne. So, would you like to see what I've been working on for the last few weeks?
Okay. Curious. I mean, I know they say the curiosity killed the space cat, but I don't think this is going to do me any harm.
No, I think that you of all people will enjoy this. When I was saved by the Astro Rangers when they were back home, I saw the Silver Ranger do a sort of energy attack out of his weapon. Looked like he slashed the air and the slash actually went forward and destroyed whatever was in front of it. I'm trying to do the same thing for our weapons.
Huh. So kind of like wow, that's a little bit hard for me to comprehend. I mean, it's kind of like you make the slash, but the thing kind of goes forward like a slice.
Yeah, like he literally like the energy, like it was like an energy slice that was projected forward at the I think there were Quantrons that they were going against.
Huh.
But yeah, if I get this right, we like our base weapons will become a lot more powerful.
I just go to Orchid. See what I mean by upgrading weapons?
Curious. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, what do you actually use? Because I don't think I actually saw you. I know you were firing something, but I don't think I actually managed to see you use it, like up close and personal.
Well, I have access to a high-powered, long-ranged glaive that can change between forms if need be. Originally, my function was long-range support, so I was outfitted with equipment that would allow me to facilitate that. So when I awakened, it evolved with me.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, Dwayne's going to start looking around. I don't know where to even start in terms of upgrades for something like that. I mean, there's scopes, there's
At this point, I just start looking around the room. What kind of techie things do I see?
So, in the room, it's outfitted basically with most of the provisions that you get from your stops at any of the military bases. There's everything you need to upgrade. Anything that's basically not restricted, you can. It's like it's there. You can use it. It can be upgraded. There's scopes. There's attachment, and the like. You see.
These are much more advanced facilities than I am used to. And no wonder you have so many ideas about upgrading and advancement.
Kind of just look around. Like, you can see, like, if I had a hard drive in my head, you'd hear the whirring as getting ideas.
oh, I know that sound. I know that sound very well.
I know that sound.
Because up until now, it's just been putting scrap together and leftovers. You've just shown me actual high-tech room.
Kid in the candy store.
The only.
I mean,
the only.
do you want to go?
The only high tech, quote unquote high tech gear that Orchid has is the proto weapons, which actually Orchid, you would be able to like show them via like a holographic image, like R2D2.
Sweet.
You'd be able to just pull that up for them at any given moment. In fact, as a matter of fact, you're kind of like you're a walking computer more or less that can blow shit up.
Sorry, that got me.
Yeah.
Well, since you did ask about what I was using, and I can now, I can create holographic projections and pull it up. Lift my hand up. I create like a miniature model of the protoglaive in gun mode as it like rotates slowly.
This is the high caliber glaive that I have. It was specifically designed for long range support, though it has already been modified based on my recent activities.
It spins round slowly for you to admire.
So, out of question, Twitch, is it technically a power weapon?
It is. Orchid's standard weapon is what do we call it? The proto.
Depends if they ask about it in character.
Yeah, I can't remember what we called it.
It's the proto-volva.
Proto-volva, that's the one. Just out of character. That so the equivalent of a strike blaster is just it's rather than a pistol, like to give it to more layman's terms, rather than a pistol, it's a magnum.
I'll say this. That's a.
You were saying, Nova?
We could definitely see about getting you a better gun if you want one. That sniper rifle, though, is really, really nice.
I think my tools are sufficient, but
I like twist the hologram. You see it turn into like the scythe mode.
If you are trying to create a projectile stream of energy, have you considered trying to isolate the energy before you fire it off in a direction for consistency and stability.
That's actually what I've been trying to figure out how exactly to do. I like you.
One moment, please.
I go over to like one of the terminals and I kind of like interact with it in like a techie way, where it looks like I'm trying to type with my hands near it, and it's just like an RFC thing.
Yeah.
Have you tried a calculation along these lines? It should help at least with stability. Without more information, I would not be able to give you more.
Sends over like a string of code that makes sense to no one else but Nova.
Oh, I think you and I are gonna get along just fine, Orchid. I've been trying to figure that exact type of code out for weeks. The problem I have is that I was a little out of practice with this sort of stuff.
Then it's not a
That's
problem.
that's why, Nova, you're software and I'm hardware.
I mean, I'm hardware too. It's good hardware is always fun to work on, but I think the three of us will definitely be able to work along this fine.
No lock is safe.
Now, this is meant to be a tour of the facility, right? Is this all of the facility? I would not object if you were telling me this ship is entirely for manufacturing and creation and research and development. But if there are other areas I should be aware of.
That's a fair point. You might as well get on. We'll come back here later, I guess.
Well, let's see. There's the mess hall. There's the hollow suite. The armory. I think there's actually where our dropship would be docked. Then there's the bridge.
I
And then
kind of
there's
just go to
Professor
the door.
Daxian's.
And it's like, lead the way.
And I gesture to the door.
Pick a destination, we'll go.
Let's start at the top.
I think mess hall it is then. Do you actually eat anything?
No,
Okay, anything that kind of, I don't know, recharges the batteries or something?
I can supply. I do recharge and take periods of time. I can, I guess in your terms, consume certain oils and synthetics. I do not need traditional sustenance.
Ah, okay. Well, still I'll share the mess hall then.
Please do. It will be
And-
informative either way.
Yeah, so Dwayne's gonna head off there. I mean, if you want to end the scene there for the time being.
Yeah, it's just regular tour now, unless anything else of interest pops up.
It's more if you guys just want to talk or whatever.
Yeah, I just wondered if you wanted to get to the next scene, as it were.
Again, this is completely down to you guys. If you want to leave that there between Dwayne and Orchid, I can switch to Arrow and Nova just after you leave.
Yep, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we did kind of rain on that parade a bit.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, Arrow and Nova, you kind of see, you see Dwayne and Orchid leave while they're talking. Nova, make me a grid technology roll, please.
Can I provide edge?
No, this is specific to the Blue Ranger.
But it's actually grid tech, so I'm specialized in this. And that's a 24.
Okay. So with the line of coding Orchid has provided for you, you realize that you've been kind of looking at this project the wrong way. You're looking at it from a pure science view, without factoring in the grid itself. With this line of coding, you're now reassessing how you've approached this, and you're incorporating what you know about the grid, which is actually quite surprising you because, like, you seem to know a lot more than you remember.
This, oh my god.
Like, it doesn't throw you off, but at the same time, it's like, that's interesting. File that away for later.
No, that's why if you hear me laughing, like Noah's actually like Errol, you hear him laughing. I'm such an idiot. He looks over at Arrow, or Arrow looks over at there. He looks over at you. I've been looking at the forest of the trees. Been looking at this from a logical standpoint. When I forgot the most important thing about us now. We have the grid on our side.
Cryptic, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool.
It just doesn't pick up if I have short burst dialogue.
Yeah, so he says that like he's just basically waiting for you. I'm gonna wait for whatever you're gonna respond with.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
No, now that I'm thinking about it like that, I'm also thinking about there's a lot others. God, I can't even talk straight right now. There's so much I can do with this information now. This right here, this could help us out a lot. Like you see him like he is as giddy as a kid in Christmas, basically.
Oh,
You were barely being picked up, man.
Yeah, your mic is kind of out a lot, Cryptic.
yeah. I guess I need to adjust my settings or something.
Hey, computer, thanks for that. Is that, like, again, the scene's yours, guys.
I'm here.
I'm trying to like we just haven't hear what you said.
I didn't say anything.
No, cryptic.
I already forgot what I was trying to say.
Well, I wonder if we'll be able to ever find them. Like the Astro
Find who?
Rangers. The Astro Rangers.
Hey, if we stay on it, I'm sure we will. As after all, we've got you, man.
I need to thank him.
Who
Now. Go ahead.
Thank who?
The Silver Ranger. Thanks to the computer I now know as Zane. Funny. I knew of Andros and Zane, the red and Silver Rangers, and didn't realize it. Andros' father actually worked with my uncle at the facility that made this very ship.
Yeah, you've said that you've told me about that a little bit about that before.
We didn't know each other well, acquaintances really, but I'm pretty sure that they'd be proud to see another member of the planet as a ranger.
We had legends on Sentai 5 about the Power Rangers. I'm just happy I can help uphold them now.
You, I think, were a better choice of this than I am, honestly.
Hey, don't sell yourself short, man. Honestly, I'm just the fanboy. You're the one that makes everything work.
Smarts. The thing I've always had a lot of, but never until this happened. I never really wanted to apply it. I was just content to set in my little fruit stand, sell to those working at the factories for lunch, play my drums, and be happy with that.
I mean, I was happy just being a teacher and molding young minds till the cogs came. But like I've made a vow, an oath, if you will, that I will protect the galaxy from the tyranny of the evil alliance. Above getting more Dark Spectre, I forgot evil alliance doesn't exist.
They all serve Dark Spectre in a way, but this Dark Spectre kind of like consolidated everything. He kind of brought the Machine Empire to heel after King Mondo tried to usurp and split, which constituted in him being destroyed in front of everyone and his son Gasket taking over the Machine Empire. More on that later.
No, honestly, I'd like to see Gasket's head on a pike.
I've only heard tell of the prince. I've never seen even a picture of the man, if I'm being honest.
Arrow, you would know that he's king now.
King Gasket.
Either way, I'm sure he wasn't happy about what just happened to one of his generals.
Mm-hmm.
What's the equivalent
No.
of a history check? Once.
Like a culture check?
Yeah. Arrow, make me a culture check.
All right, let me see here. Skills, culture. Hey, that's a D4. Ah, 7.
You only have a basic, like, you're well acquainted with Machine Empire. Like you said, you know about King Mondo's attempt at usurping Dark Spectre's seat of power. You know the end result. And you know that since then, the Machine Empire has been ever loyal to Dark Spectre. With, Queen Machina, or Queen Mother, former Queen Machina, of course, being an advisor to both now King Gasket and Sprocket, the youngest of the royal family of the Machine Empire. So when it comes to talking about things with anyone on the team and stuff like that, you have a pretty good insight on what they're capable of and everything they're doing. You know a lot about the commanders of the Machine Empire as well. So you're pretty much the current team expert on them.
Okay.
For all that you know.
So
as this is all tied into like your personal history as well, character-wise.
If it's Machine Empire, I know it.
Yeah, more or less. Like the basics. Like you don't know anything beyond, say, what a lot of other people have seen. You know, like the history up until the point you were able to get away from, the continued march of the machines, as it were. But you know full well what they are capable of and what they do. As it was the attack on Sentai 5. Is it Sentai 6? Sorry.
I think it's Sentai 5.
It's Sentai 6. Common 5 is what that
Right,
was.
okay, yeah, I got it mixed up. It's Sentai 6, Common 5, yeah. The sacking of Sentai 6 is what drove King Mondo to try and stage a coup d'etat.
In the aftermath of the attack on Sentai 6, I was in the ruins of the school with my kids, and I could see Mondo prancing, walking about like he owned the place, laughing. He got his just desserts.
I wish I could say the same for the man who took my planet. Well, man's too kind a word for him. I still hear that laugh at night.
Don't worry, Nova. We'll make sure he finds justice.
I'm not gonna lie, you might see a different side of me if we ever find him.
Don't worry. If you go too far, I'll be there to bring you back.
Thank you.
And Arrow is going to just hold out his hand, or just in a fist bump.
Noah responds, or does the gesture. You're a good man, Earl. A good friend.
That's all I can. All I can really ask for right now.
That's all we can be, right? Like, make sure that we're the people that we want to look up to, not just the people that we want others to look up to.
I mean, that I say this all the time, but that was also my basis as a teacher. I wanted to mold young minds to be the best that they could be, and now, instead of just being an example for my kids, we can be examples for the galaxy at large. It's really exciting.
I'm honestly just thinking of the fact that the kids that you helped that day that I saw you at that station. They can now say that their savior was a literal Power Ranger.
I had no illusions that I'd be a Power Ranger. I was just doing the best I could for who I had responsibility for. Because I had a duty of care. It was up to me to make sure that that they were okay.
Yeah, now looking at it now, I'm wondering if it was fate for me to choose to keep staying. Make sure that I was there as long as I was.
Who knows? We were exactly where we need to be. Now, what's this that you're working on right now?
I think you heard me talking to Dwayne about it. With Orchid's help now, our weapons might get stronger. Or not might, they will be stronger.
That's incredible.
Might even be able to find a way to connect all our personal Power Ranger weapons together.
Like some kind of power cannon or sword?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I didn't even think of that as an option until I saw that code. Like, now that I know that, or now that I'm seeing through that, or that, I guess, lack of a better term, that sight of actually using the grid as the way to do this. Just, I don't know what else I'm gonna be able to do, but I'm excited to try. No, Noah's like, you can actually see, like, he's legitimately, like, excited about all the stuff that's on the screen right now.
I'm going to. Can I roll a science or a technology roll to see if I can interpret it?
Science. Yeah, 100%.
That is a crit 10.
Yeah. Yeah, you understand most of it. The grid stuff is a bit lost on you. Like, again, you have, like, you know what the grid is, but it's like the ins and outs of it, you kind of just like, I haven't got a clue. But you can overall see what Nova's trying to achieve here.
Above game, like, me and Twitch realized this is just the in-universe reason for the let's bring them all together our feat for the Red Ranger.
This is not just to clarify, this is not Nova making a combined power weapon. That this is an upgrade for the Strike Blaster and the Cyber Saber, quote unquote. Not an upgrade per se, but like basically, it's the Gokaija finisher.
Yes.
Yeah, like
That's
I'm just
the
throwing out the combined weapon because someone in this chat has given us art of that already. So
I mean, again, the power weapon is a power blaster is a thing on the side, and if you want to know how to use that, you have to look at the combined weapon rules in the book.
Final wave.
Yeah, it is there. It is something that you guys can do.
but yeah, like I was like, let's just give it like an end universe explanation of what's going or why we're going to be able to do that soon. I think I'm good enough in terms of that scene.
Yeah, that's
Same.
cool. I'm gonna say we take a quick bio break as we reach. We have been going for an hour 40 minutes, so that's like just past the halfway point.
All right, and I've turned off advanced voice activity just because like it hasn't always been picking up my mic like outside of this call.
That's fine. But yeah, let me just stop the old. Yeah, so we're gonna take a quick break. Put on some music for you all in chat. As everyone takes a quick 5-minute break. Yeah. Again, a lot of expedition for RP this session, considering it is the fallout of what happened of a major arc. Yeah, good times.
Woo!
Sorry if I did kind of like come over a couple of guys a couple of times.
It's alright. It happens.
Very good.
No worries.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go refill my water and go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Someone's coughing.
Yeah, it's my cat. Poor baby.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's too like she's got kitty asthma and it's been too close to her last steroid, so we're giving her pills for 2 weeks with her food. She's just past day 1. I'll give her a second pill tonight. Hopefully this should help her out. back.
Poor kitty.
I am back.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna go hail hydrate. Cat seems to be fine for now.
Always hail hydrate, stretch your legs.
And hail pigeon.
And hail pigeon. Yeah, like I said, to anyone watching live currently, or anyone who's watching it on YouTube, it is an RP heavy session. But these kinds of sessions are needed to push the story along.
Aren't they part of the good stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we've just finished one major arc in introducing the 6th member of Le Team. So it is to be expected. Doo-doo-doo. But once everyone is back and ready, we can continue on with le session.
Les sessions.
It's oh, I am fresh.
Oh.
They ever done a French villain, like a monster in Power Rangers? They probably have.
It's happened.
Yeah.
I think there's been like a couple, and
Yeah.
I think
Was
actually like 2 or 3, and I think they were both all about love.
Was the Lightspeed Rescue Butler thing French?
No, he wasn't French. He was just creepy and nuts.
Yeah.
I know the Turbo Pizza one is apparently Italian.
He's Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian. I remember that one quite.
We're
Like,
here to
he's-
toss your salad.
He's Italian, and I think it's Crank is Scottish.
Yeah, around and away we go. do love some of the villains sometimes. They're really cool. Right, are we all here?
I'm here.
I am.
I think so.
If you're not here, raise your hand. Haha, funny yoke.
I raise my hand.
I'm here.
All right, so if everyone's here, we can continue. So, you all go about your day on the ship. You're doing this. Orchid, you're adjusting. You're getting to know everyone. You know, you're answering questions as and when. As the Gamma Mega ship exits FTL and is in orbit of Zybria, just circling, being waiting to be let down onto the ship, onto the planet. The Cyberstrike Rangers, you are once more dressed in your Sunday best, as it were. Aside from Scott, who has been prepped to be transferred to medical on planet side. You gain the all clear, and the Gamma makes for the docks on planet Zybria.
I can't wait to see that general's face.
Oh yeah, the one that thought that we weren't good enough for this, right?
I remember
Yeah.
him.
Professor Daxon chimes up. Rangers, while I share your distaste for the general, it would behoove us to antagonize him.
Above game, is this the guy? Is this the guy that I remember that was being a douche in like episode 1?
No,
Okay, different guy.
different guy. This is the guy from episode 17 who distrusts Scott and dislikes the fact that Nova and Arrow are Rangers. He was the guy that was being a dick in the meeting, basically.
Oh yeah, Marika wasn't in that one.
Yeah, Marika was. Joined partway through. Yeah, you land once more at the hangar, where you are greeted by an ensemble. Commander Kruger himself is there. Organ, you are marveling outside some of the viewing windows at this city. You've been to settlements before, but nothing this sprawling.
I've only been to Western towns. This is beautiful.
Oh, so you went to that one too?
All of them.
Yeah.
Orchid, yeah, just standing there, kind of taking it all in, seeing life happen in front of me.
The ship is fully docked, and of course the usual hangar crew start, middling about the refueling, looking at scraps, cleaning it off. The cargo bay hatch starts to fall down, and you all see, you all see instantly as it lands, a medical team rushes up and takes the floating stretcher, which has Scott on it, and starts to take it away, assuring you all that he will be taken care of. After being informed prior to your arrival by Professor Daxian what is causing him an issue. It is something that they have seen before, and it will be taken care of. You all come to a stop in front of Commander Kruger, who is regarding you, Orchid, with narrowed eyes, but doesn't say anything.
I would just blankly stare back.
You screen like you just screen eyes got just
Yeah, just blankly stare back at him.
Just like the dotty eyes.
He then regards all of you as you give like he salutes, and then in response he'll salute back, and Professor Dax, you salute back, and Professor Daxian gives that awkward wave because he's not really sure if he should salute because he's not technically military.
Nope.
And he is technically royalty, and he's never really quite figured out how to respond. And Kruger just shakes his head.
Nova also gives him a wave like, Good afternoon, Commander.
Rangers, you've been informed that your mission was successful and that you destroyed the outpost. However, there was unexpected parameters. He looks directly at you, Orchid.
I still just stare back at him. I don't know this man. He's just staring at me.
No.
Vale saluted to him. I'm just gonna stare at him.
Incorrect. You do know who this is because of the information that's been funneled into you from the mainframe.
Would I have had images? I know of a Kruger. Oh,
Yes.
then never mind.
Yes.
Never mind then.
Of most high-ranking officials, you know.
Okay.
Dwayne's gonna have this biggest shit-eating grin on his face.
Marika at this point will speak up. Commander, this is Orchid, a newfound ally of ours.
Greetings.
He kind of like regards you for a second. Professor Daxian, you reported that this is one of the Alpha Sentinel units, correct? Yes, Commander. It would that one of my companions from that era of the research requested them away. It is all in the report. I've read the report, Professor. Alpha unit, what is your main... sorry, I'm below my own words there. Alpha unit, what is your prime direction?
My prime directive is to secure life and face off against the forces of Dark Spectre.
He turns back to Professor Daxian. Can this unit be trusted, Professor? Is that... And the Professor kind of like stands a bit taller and bristles a little bit. He's just like, I assure you, Commander, the Alpha Sentinel program was more catered to protecting life just as well as your SPD unit. Orchid is, for better or for worse, a Power Ranger. And carries the legacy of my late comrade. It's a little unusual for you guys to see Daxian kind of like almost challenging Kruger to answer back. A little bit more of that Edenite royalty shining through. Very well. I trust you, Professor, and I trust that Orchid, was it?
Orchid.
Just
Affirmative.
kick, well, not necessarily kicks it, but just kind of pokes Orchid a bit.
If it settles your concerns, the grid chose me like the grid has chosen the rest of the Rangers here. It is thanks to the grid that I stand before you today, to uphold my original objective. That to do proud with, for the other sentinels that are no longer here.
Very well. Then allow me to be the first of the Alliance to welcome you to fight.
I salute the most robotic salute ever because I know that's hierarchy to him.
There will be a debrief meeting amongst the other members of the Alliance shortly. As for Scott, he will be taken care of. Please prepare your report and hand over any and all information you have from your mission to the research teams. Dismissed.
Thank you, sir. I think you'll
Yes,
be.
sir.
I think you'll be surprised with everything we got today, or that day.
He kind of nods and then he walks off. Professor Daxian kind of like lets out just goes, I think that went rather well.
Why wouldn't it?
Because of Sergeant Dickless.
Well, he wasn't here now, was he? We answered directly to the commander, and I think that he'd be pleased, or he's pleased with the fact that we got the results that we're going to show him.
Commander Kruger does care about results, but he is also a cautious individual.
It's not often that someone stands up to him. Trust me, I know the commander.
The appearance of another ranger, one that was not expected, especially one that is a machine. No offense, Orchid.
None taken. I am a machine.
Would cause hesitance for most, especially with the advancement of this machine empire as of late. However, I must sequester myself and prepare for the meeting. I suggest you all do the same. I shall see you there.
Oh, Professor.
I lean over to his tablet he's got in hand. You see like a little progress bar.
This is the rest of my part for your report of my activities up until this point.
Yes, thank you. Okay, very well. We can corroborate this with what we already know of your activities. Very well. I shall see you soon, Rangers. And he turns around and calls out to one of the workers to ask him where, certain individuals are and everything else. And the five of you are now in the hangar. You have to make your way to this room, to the same room you were in with at the meeting. It's not for another hour or so, so you have free run of what to do as usual. The floor is yours. You can either head straight up there and just wait, or you can again have a poke around.
I actually wonder if the Red Ranger from the Equation Rangers is going to be there again. Dwayne's going to say that out loud.
Oh yeah, Ricky, you didn't meet him, did you?
I suppose I didn't.
Yeah, it'll be
Orchid's
interesting
just
to see.
looking around. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Dwayne would have just said it would be interesting to see, one Red Ranger meet another. Oh, before that, Quartermaster. Does anyone want to have a quick chat with him before we head up, or anyone want to do a bit of shopping beforehand, or?
You haven't really exhausted many of your things from the last mission. There's not much that you could get. You could go for a chat. It's up to you. Completely up to you guys.
I'm down to do whatever.
Mentioning the red equation ranger Mariko would actually speak up. Of course, I hadn't meant. If I would have known there was a red ranger on the planet, I probably would have headed that way myself. But it's funny, I actually had a conversation with the professor while I was helping him with the data. I'm looking into maybe researching some of the other Red Rangers around here. See what I can learn from their history.
Will that also include the Astro Rangers? Might give us a clue.
Possible.
You would need to ask if Oracle is still planetside, and to find out where he is. So you would have to ask personnel if he's still around, namely those who look after ambassadors from other planets. You know that Oracle is here escorting the admiral of the Equation army.
Should I make a roll for that, or?
Yeah, give me a perception check. Wait.
May I also roll since I'm looking for him too?
Yeah, you can. These will both be individual rolls.
And it's a 14.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no. Wait. I forgot to factor in something because let me just double check.
Alertness, perception, Chopper.
Well, that's a crit success for me.
Did you only rolled alertness, not perception?
Yeah, I'm not specialized in perception. Just
okay, so just an alertness check. Sure.
Here's the thing. There is the not from around here perk, and it's
It's 7.
gaining up one shift on any alertness or survival skill test made to find or track a targeted individual or individuals. So would that be suitable for me to?
Yeah, apply that.
Do a reroll for that? Okay,
Yeah,
I will do that.
Crit 7. The lowest crit we've had.
That's a 10.
Yeah, that might be actually because I rolled max on the D4 and I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
I do have this with the agency background that I added, if that's going to help any.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not your agency. But oh well, actually no, maybe. But it doesn't matter.
I put Allied Military Forces since that's technically what I
yeah.
to.
Yeah, true, and you are doing this. Yeah, okay. I wish there was a part of the book that allowed me to.
I mean, you also already did credit, so
Yeah. yeah. It's just critical success. It's treated as an auto success. So cool. Yeah, Nova, Marika. You spot some of the admin workers that work, that cater to everything just off to the side of the hangar. They would know if any of the dignitaries from other planets are still planetside or if they've left or not. They're just over to towards the exit of the hangar.
Yeah, Brika would wander over and get their attention. Pardon me, but if you could, I was wondering if Ariko is still planet side.
The woman you approach, she turns around to you again. She's a pink-haired Zybrian. She looks at that. She looks at your uniform. She's like, "Oh, yes, of course, Captain Hammond." Moment. And she kind of taps a few things on the data pad, and then puts a finger on the comms device on it and just says, "Do we know if the dignitaries from Aquitar are still planetside at all?" She gets a response. She kind of nods her head. Yes, of course. Thank you very much. She turns back to you, Marika. The dignitaries from planet Aquitar are currently awaiting the debrief from your latest mission, I believe, up in the Central Command Tower.
Understood, thank you.
Of course.
And she'll walk over and relay that to the rest of the group.
We shouldn't keep him waiting then, should we?
Suppose not.
Captain, are you alright?
Yes.
Are you alright?
Yeah, suppose I was.
Not good keeping secrets. I'm asking you honestly. Are you alright?
She's gonna kind of look around to see if there's anybody else in the area besides us.
You're in the hangar. There's a lot of people around.
Let's walk and talk. And as they start kind of exiting, she's kind of sticking close to Nova, and she's going to kind of try to talk at a reduced volume, but still loud enough that they can hear each other. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Part of the reason I talked with, part of the reason I wanted to research Red Rangers, I'll admit that I've had doubts about whether or not I don't want to say capable of my position, but whether or not I've lived up to the hype, so to speak. Or I suppose lived up to the legacy.
You think we have, or we each haven't, in our own way?
And that's fair. We haven't been on the job for that long.
No, that's not what I mean. You think I haven't thought I wasn't worth it? I actually had a similar conversation with the professor a couple weeks ago. Remember, Captain, of the two of us, I wasn't supposed to be here.
She nods.
Let me tell you this.
Sometimes I forget that. Despite how you and Arrow have done so much for this team, there are times I forget that you're just civilians.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm doing as much as I could.
Dwayne.
Let me,
Would Dwayne be hearing this, or?
Yeah. You're all walking as a group.
If you want to, you're here.
Yeah, Dwayne's gonna lean in and be like, "Look, let me be honest, Captain, and to you, Nova. When me and Scott came in the team, it did feel a little bit of, the two of us and then the three of you. But, we've kind of bonded over time. that counts for something. But when he was in SPD, you get put in a squad, and you know you think that you're the hot shit, and then you get put into a squad and find out you're not the hottest shit, but you're a hot shit. But even so, you bring an extra your own spice to it. You know, it, trying to think of like the most easiest way to say this, but it's like, you know, we all have our own talents. We all bring our own thing to the table. As long as everyone brings their own thing to the table, and we know what everyone can bring to the table, then we'll work together as a team. We've worked together as a team so well so far.
I am 100% with Dwayne on this. Look at what the five of us were able to get accomplished in the short amount of time we've been working together.
I mean, we kicked Gerok's ass twice. We've gotten the Cyberstrike swords back.
We found a new ally in Orchid.
Imagine Orchid's just like walking behind us and semi paying attention to the conversation, but is still like taking in the scenery.
Pretty much.
Man, I bet you Garrock's rusting his pants at the thought of having to fight us again.
After getting demoted, what, for the second time?
What will he be this time? Corporal?
As you're walking through the building, Orchid is getting a couple of stairs. Everyone's sorry.
Heck, at this rate, they might as well just put him in the custodial position.
Yeah, your group is getting a couple of stares from people. You are recognized from the uniform that you're wearing. But like people are like kind of like giving Orchid a second glance and like whispering, just like, "Is that an alpha unit? Looks like an alpha unit. It's a bit tall."
I just imagined if he hears it, he just waves at him.
Yeah, anyone who's obviously staring, I just kind of wave at them and keep walking.
They kind of wave back. It's just like, oh, I've seen weirder.
Can I actually ask something, Twitch? Because this is more of a me being a Ranger fan and whatnot, but and not knowing much about other alpha units. But do they have that particular catchphrase or whatnot?
Well, aye.
Like, yeah. Do they all have that, or was it that specific?
It was very much specific to Alpha 5 and 6.
Well, 6 was yo yo yo.
Oh,
yo,
yeah,
yo, yo,
yo. Yeah. But
God.
not all of them do it. Again, each Alpha unit is unique in their personality. Yes, they are a robot or a machine, but they're almost like they're like a living machine, if you get what I mean. They are as much human as they are robot.
I just kind of wondered if it was just like something that, like, if it was a certain thing that alpha units do, like in general, that everyone can say, oh, that is definitely an alpha unit. And it would have been like, because Dwayne knows of alpha units, he would say to like, Orchid, could you do this to make him a bit more recognizable as an alpha unit?
Unfortunately, Orchid is a special kind of alpha unit in which
fair enough.
They are a alpha sentinel. An alpha unit specifically bred and created for combat.
So no verbal tics.
Fair enough.
Unless Tom wants to do a verbal tick for Orchid, but that is up to Tom. But yeah, you are walking, and as you're talking, you get to the elevator. And it is, again, the two guards posted there. They salute you as they press the button and it opens up. And You make your way up to the central communications room.
Yep.
As you reach the top of the tower and the door opens, you see it is occupied. The room is occupied by 2 sole inhabitants. It is the Equations. It is the general of Aquitar, of the Equation Army, and his current escort, Orico, the Red Equation Ranger. Both
Marika's going to give the general a salute.
They both turn and bow to you or in greeting.
Alright, I believe we've yet to meet. I'm Marika Hammond, the Red Cyberstrike Ranger.
Ah, yes, of course. And he...
I switch between the bloody voice mods. he kind of like, he puts his hands together in the Equation greeting and he bows.
She'll attempt to mimic that.
I, of course, have met your companions. It is good to finally meet you face to face. It is not often I get to meet another Red Ranger.
Thinking the exact same thing. It's actually interesting. I've been wanting to do research into the other Red Rangers, see what I can learn from them. I suppose you're included in that.
Research? I am not sure I understand what you are trying to find.
Just... She kind of thinks about it for a minute. I suppose... it's a matter of understanding what I can build upon as a Red Ranger compared to what those who have come before me, or I suppose in this case those that are also still active have already accomplished.
You compare yourself and your successes to others. I am not familiar with this concept. Are your actions not your own?
They are.
Is your
I suppose it's a military thought, military brain.
I admit I am unfamiliar with other planets' military personnel, and working closer with Commander Kruger's alliance has opened up many avenues for corroboration.
I guess it's... When I was in my position for becoming a ranger, I spent so much time... While I maybe had a leadership role, I still spent so much of my time doing things my own way, doing things alone, and now that I've become a Red Ranger, I guess I have to relearn how to be a leader in a sense.
Is that your declaration of how to learn to be a leader that Oracle smiles and gives a small chuckle, or what equates to a small chuckle for Equation?
Ha! I see. The burden of leadership. I am afraid you are speaking to the wrong Red Ranger, if that is what you see.
She kind of raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, he smiles and just gives a small nod before continuing on.
Yes, I understand your confusion. While it is true that in the history of the Power Rangers, that most teams are led by a Red Ranger, the Equation Rangers are unique in that our leader is actually the white Equation Ranger, Delphine. Uncommon, yes, but not unheard of.
She kind of smiles a little bit, I guess. Interesting. What I know about since we've said that this takes place during like season 3 MMPR rough timeline, would I know that there is more than one White Ranger in a pseudo leadership role, aka Tommy?
You would know that there are rangers based on Earth. You wouldn't know, like, if there is a White Ranger there. You know, the thing. In fact, I don't think Tommy has the White Rangers in this time. White Ranger powers in this timeline.
Well,
yet.
we've seen the schematics for the White Tiger Zord.
You have, correct? Yes. So he does have those powers. So yeah, going back on that, you would know that the Rangers of Earth, there is a second White Ranger out there.
She kind of nods. So like the White Ranger of Earth, then.
Ah, you refer to Tommy.
We didn't know his name.
Yes, understandable.
Above game, rest in peace, JDF.
Yes.
Yes, there was a time where myself and the rest of the Equation Rangers spent a short amount of time on Earth, and we have even battled alongside the Rangers of Earth. It was an unusual series of events, I will admit. But Thomas Oliver, the former Green Ranger and current White Ranger of Earth, does indeed lead his team after the departure of the former Ranger Jason Lee Scott. The powers were transferred over to 3 new Rangers worthy. We have since not had much contact with Earth as their battle against Lord Zed rages on, as we were forced to refocus our efforts on the war here. Earth being so far away from Dark Spectre's reach, and in the clutches of Master Vile and Lord Zed. 2 beings, possibly, who could stand toe-to-toe with Dark Spectre.
Above game reminds me, Rito, since we met him on the we met him all the way back in episode 1. Is he part of Master Vile's team, or is he part of the overarching Dark Spectre?
Dark Spectre. He's one of Dark Spectre's generals. He's completely different from how he is in the TV show, in which he's not a bumbling idiot, but he is a fearsome general in this campaign. And okay. he purposefully betrayed his father to join Dark Spectre because, again, Master Vile did not treat Rito with the respect he felt. But yeah, the timeline is a little different here.
Okay, I just need a reminder. That's all.
Yeah.
How do you actually pronounce it? Is it Oracle or
Oracle?
Oracle. You said that the White Ranger was previously the Green Ranger? I didn't think that something like that was possible. I mean, was that like a shift, or was it just that they just gained the new powers?
Oracle turns to you, Dwayne, and thinks about his answer for a moment.
If my memory serves me correctly, the Rangers of Earth are powered by the ancient power of what they call dinosaurs. Modeled after these creatures is what Zordon and the Sage Ninja created their power coins with, the source of their morphing capabilities. It was also how the witch Rita Repulsa managed to create her own power coin, that of the Green Dragon. He chose a worthy champion in her eyes in an attempt to destroy the Rangers. However, her spell was broken and young Thomas Oliver joined the team as the Green Ranger for a period of time. However, the powers of the Green Ranger were tied directly to Rita Repulsa herself, and so she developed a spell to drain Tommy of his powers. And for a spell, he was no longer a ranger. He was later gifted the powers of the White Light of Goodness, an ancient power, one that Lord Zed had previously tried to obtain. It is said to be as mystical as the Zeo Crystal itself, but no one really knows where it came from. Thomas Oliver was judged worthy, and so he was given this power and rejoined the team. It is my belief my belief that Zordon knows more about this power than anyone. However, he is one to keep his secrets to himself most of the time.
I was about to say above game, isn't it? It's probably time for you to head out, right, Deluna?
Not necessarily, or not yet, but I was actually, like, in character, I was gonna say, can I roll, I guess a culture check, the history check, to see if I know or if I've read about the Zeo Crystal and the data bank or anything like that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Because
You might advise, since it's probably part of the Greater Allied Military's files.
Yeah, you can roll for it. No problem. Oh, yeah.
23.
Oh, yeah, you know about the legend of the Zeo Crystal.
No, we'll just chime in. Wait, the Zeo Crystal, that's actually real?
Orko nods to you.
Yes, it is a mystical power, the irony of which it is currently sequestered beneath a lunar castle of where Lord Zed currently resides. He is so close to one of the most powerful objects in the universe, and yet he cannot touch it. But none but a pure soul would be able to lift the Zeo Crystal from its current location.
Let's hope those guys that are on Earth actually know, are able to get it before he can, because, oh boy, if the Alliance Navy will get their hands on that thing. I've read stories of what it can do, and my god.
Dwayne's gonna still be like mumbling to himself, but it's like green to white. I thought when the grid chooses you, it's like that's your color forever, and it's like to be able to change. I didn't think you could change on the spectrum.
It's at this point
Note that for later.
You didn't notice it, but during the conversation, Professor Daxian and others had walked into the room. It is not so much that the grid chooses you permanently. It is more that it is a force that we are so unmistakably naive. At the same time as that what we know is vast. I too have heard the tale of the Rangers of Earth and of Zordon of Eltar, a close personal confidant in my early years growing up. The legend of the white light of good rivals that of the Zeo Crystal, and if one of Zordon's chosen has managed to take up the power, then Earth is satisfiably protected from the advancement of Lord Zed. And as to Lord Zed getting his hands on the Zeo Crystal, well, no mere mortal could be allowed to pick it up. It is an object of immense power, one that not even, I believe, the smartest minds of the universe would be able to fathom.
Yeah, from what I read, like apparently that crystal only gets stronger.
I do not pretend to know, Nova. However, I believe it is time we should all take our seats. I believe the commander is on his way. And as he says that, as if on cue, Commander Kruger exits the elevator alongside some of the other dignitaries. This time, the admiral of the Zybrian forces is here alongside the general, who is escorting him. As Kruger makes his way to the head of the table, more quote unquote, it is a circular table. As
real quick, I'm gonna have Noah say, "It's a pleasure talking with you again, Orko. Hopefully, we can talk again later."
Yes, he bows and he goes back to stand behind the general of the Equation Army.
Under her breath, Rika would say, "I wonder where Delphine is right now."
As Kruger gets there, and everyone, like, you've all stood up waiting for him to, like, he just goes, "Please, be seated." And as he does so. No doubt you are wondering why I've called here today, and most of you would probably surmise that it is about the current success of our operations that we spoke about a few days ago. It is with great pride that I say that the Cyberstrike Rangers completed their mission successfully. And although parameters were a little bit out of sorts, has brought back a new ally for us in the form of one Alpha Sentinel, designation Orchid. Those of you who have been a part of this alliance for a long time will know that the Alpha Sentinel project was deemed a failure. However, it seems the efforts of one Professor Daxian and his fallen comrades has borne fruit all these years later. As I said, Orchid, may I be the first to welcome you into this fight.
I just salute.
And some of the other dignitaries around the corner, around the table, some of the other ones from various planets. That it is remarkable. I have never seen an Alpha unit such as yourself. I would very much like to ask you questions. And the Zybrian Admiral says, I would calm yourself. After all, we are here to exchange more information and update each other on the ongoing campaigns going on across the universe. Commander Kruger, if I may. And it's at this point Commander Kruger sits down and the Zybrian Admiral stands up. Cyberstrike Rangers, I would once again express gratitude for what you have done for us. Your recent battles and the campaigns you have aided in, plus this mission, has given us more of a strong foothold. And as he does this, the table lights up and it's the map of the universe. Our territory has expanded by 10%. Now, while to most this would be a small number, for us over the years, this is a huge advancement. And you taking out that outpost in this key location has now opened up better trade routes for us. We are able to gain access to more supplies and garner supplies to other rebel uprisings within Dark Specter's territory. Our plan is to send a small fleet of ships to to the location of this ruined outpost to establish our own staging ground. If all goes to plan, we should be able to launch our own strike against Dark Spectre's forces within the year. Compiling some of the information you brought back with our own, we have also found out that they were trying to mine the minerals on the planet for upgraded armor of sorts for the Machine Empire's quadrifighters. Of course, our main concern was that they were trying to get more of this anti-grid mineral that we have been tracking. On that subject, actually, we found a large outcrop of said material here in the green zone. It's on a small moon planet, not too far away from our own. About a week's journey at best. We've sent teams deployed there, and as we currently know, it is not inhabited by any formal culture, although there are a primitive native species, shall we say. It appears that this mineral crops up on any planet anywhere around the universe. No rhyme, no reason. That is all we know for now. Professor Daxian. And at this point, Professor Daxian stands up. Ah, yes, of course. I can corroborate what the Admiral said. There was no source of this mineral on Gamma Omega. And the outpost was thoroughly destroyed. The weapons of the Gamma Megaship made certain of that. Corroborating with the information that we took from the central computer, along with yet another COG infantry soldiers database, we have learned of another key location. However, I would exercise caution in what we do next. And then Professor Daxian presses a few keys on his datapad, and the hologram switches to a planet. You can see it's kind of well, it's not a planet. It's a destroyed planet. It's actually Alandria, or what was planet Alandria. You know this planet as it was once a vibrant area of a vibrant planet in the hive quadrant of the galaxy. This was a planet that was destroyed by Emperor Grum and the Trubian Empire. And for those who know the history of one Commander Kruger, you see him kind of like staring at the planet really intently. In this universe, the Trubian Empire does work alongside Dark Spectre. But Emperor Grum kind of works as an advisor to Dark Spectre and is as strong as Lord Zed, more or less. He's kind of like a vizier. Rather than try and fight Dark Spectre, he merged his resources with his so that he could have a greater hold on his quadrant of the galaxy. And Professor Daxian continues. It's here that mineral seems to be being taken to. It is also the main base of operations for one Rito Revolto. And again, the image changes to a picture of Rito Revolto. This is deep in enemy territory. However, it is not impossible to get to. It is my belief that whatever weapon they are building, it is here, on the ruined asteroid remains of Alandria. Commander Kruger, I know your history with Emperor Grum is a sore subject. However, I speak for myself, and I believe many of the other leaders here. It would be unwise for us to try and attack this position. By all reports, they are still trying to ferry this mineral to this planet. I believe our main course of action would be to deter and intercept any and all cargo making its way to the High Quadrant Galaxy if we can. We are simply not strong enough to launch a strike that deep in enemy territory. However, I leave the floor open to you all. He kind of sits back down. Commander Kruger crosses his fingers underneath his chin, kind of leans forward, elbows on the table. I agree with Professor Daxian's assessment. We've made great strides in this war over the last few months. While this information is important and critical, we simply do not have the manpower or the resources yet. However, setting up a blockade, blocking travel routes, may give us another edge and slow their production down. I have seen firsthand what the Trubian Empire is capable of. I shudder to think what they would do with the power of this mineral. So at this point, the Zybrian general pipes up a little bit and just like, if I may, Commander, would it not be prudent to send the Cyberstrike Rangers in to scout at least? I mean, this is what they were made for, is it not?
Above game, is this the same? Was this the commander or the general that says this?
This is the general of the Zybrian.
Okay,
It's
so
General
it's-
Douchebag.
It's the same general that was a dick to you and Scott, you guys and Scott, the last time you were in a meeting.
So now you want us to go on missions.
Kind of just scowls a little bit at you and says like that. As I've said before, I would prefer not to send civilians into war zones. Though then again, it would appear that you are lacking your green friend. What's the matter? Did he fall over and hit his head?
He's having a nap.
At this point,
You fought.
Oh, go ahead.
You fought. What was it, like 10 or 15 cogs in that
Hogs, putties.
All by himself.
by himself?
No, with the assistance of Orchid.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. We're just saying that to him.
Mhm. Yeah, what exactly have you done?
Professor,
well.
Professor Daxian, yeah, does the same as Dwayne Errol. The Admiral also chimes in. General, I've told you before, your personal stakes in this are to be left when you enter the base. If you cannot conduct yourself professionally, I ask you to leave. The general kind of like stands up, adjusts his outfit. Very well. I shall return to my duty. Commander, Daxian, Rangers, and he kind of walks out and make me a group Alertness perception check, please.
All right, alertness perception.
That is a 13. Damn it, I thought.
9. Oh, a crit by Orchid.
Hell yeah.
Top 20.
That's an 18 from me.
You've moved the wrong thing. Yep. Sec. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. 13, 22. Yeah, okay. 3 of you succeeded. As the general is leaving, he kind of has a smirk on his face. And not a very good intentioned kind of smirk. Like, this guy is up to something. It's almost like he just did what he did to get confirmation for something.
A lead of.
We should follow him. It does not look like he is going to be doing something good.
Normally, I'd agree with you. Like, Noah would go back. But it looked it'd be a little inappropriate to leave during this meeting.
Dwayne's going to get the Admiral's attention. Admiral, if I may.
He looks over at you and motions for you to speak.
Keep an eye on him. I know when someone's up to something. And if one of our original mission statements was to actually root out some cases where our alliance might be faltering, yeah, keep an eye on him. Monitor him.
I think we all can agree that yes, this is a bold accusation, but not one unfounded.
Respectfully, as much as his personal beliefs sometimes hinder his etiquette, he has been a long-standing member of the army, and I would not break the trust of one of my soldiers.
I can understand that. I'm just letting you know.
He nods, but you get the feeling that he's kind of like, he's kind of actually a bit like, damn, you just made a bold accusation there, pal. That's you're a little bit out of line. But yeah, the meeting goes on. The information, everything is corroborated with. Like that. The meeting goes on for like a little bit. You're all like that. You're all planning your next avenues of attack, and all the rest of that. And it's just as as you're discussing, maybe your next mission. An explosion is heard, and
why do I have a very bad feeling? And Dwayne's going to say
You
that
too?
out loud.
all of a sudden, Commander Kruger is in the comms. Report! What happened? And over the comms is that, Commander, there's been an explosion at the medical facility.
Eyes at the Admiral. What did I tell you?
You have no proof that the general has done anything.
We have no proof, but we have the proof we do have is that something just happened. Guys, I think it's time to suit up.
So there's Commander Kruger shouts, "Hold! Status report now." Commander, several individuals have disappeared from their rooms, including members of your SPD unit. And Dot was among them.
Fuck!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to end episode 19.
You should have listened to us.
I kind of wanted to say like above game, like before we ended, like Noah would reiterate, like or to the five. It's let's suit up.
Yeah. But yeah. The session, I did plan the session a little bit differently on the thought of that maybe Hardluck would be here today, but of course he wasn't feeling well, so he let us know that he wasn't here, so I had to make a couple of changes last minute. But it wasn't too much of me to do on the fly. It kind of worked out almost better actually than what I originally had planned.
No, that's actually a cooler ending than I'm assuming what you had in mind.
But yeah, that's so that is episode 19, ladies and gentlemen.
My only regret is that when asshole General left, I didn't say just do a mocking waves, go bye-bye.
At the same time, like again, you guys distrust him, but he is an established member of the army. So, like in character, it's like, yeah, you can distrust him, but other people might not. But I won't go into too much on that. He's a dick, but not everyone's like that. I also noticed throughout today's session, guys, and not you guys, I mean people in chat, and for those watching on YouTube, that the rolls weren't coming through very well on what I have set up. For because I have two open. I have the virtual tabletop foundry open for you guys for like rolls and stuff, but I also have another one opened up for my game master stuff, and I noticed that throughout the session it just wasn't popping up. I had to keep tabbing into the foundry, so I might just have the foundry up for hosting the server and then do everything in the web browser, because that's where I can use a lot of the modifications and modules and whatnot, and just readjust that so that it's not so janky, so you guys can see the rolls proper. So I do apologize for that. And again, I do apologize that this was not as an exciting episode, quote unquote. Not every episode can be a Monster of the Week one. That's not how I've structured the campaign. But yes, this is a pivotal. The only thing I can give away is that this is a pivotal story point now, going forward. Not only for the adjustment of bringing Orchid into the team, but also progressing personal stories.
The actual progressive the story overall, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, that's why. Again, that's why I made mention of a couple of callbacks to episodes that we did before, like the reappearance of Rito Revolto, the mentioning of the mineral, and all that stuff.
Plus the fact that Dwayne now knows that people can change colors, so it's kind of goes for what I want to do with my character later on.
I'm like, that's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
Yes.
If I may, so I can start getting ready. I need if I can go first for this one.
Yes. We're about to, as I'm looking for people to, looking for someone to raid. Sean's online and Tart's on.
I got Beowulf.
Beowulf is also online. My friend Stu, who is a referee I work with, he's online. He's playing Modern 2. Matter Declaration online. Okay, there's people online. I might go raiding to Sean or Tart, because
Sean just started too, so that
makes sense. Yeah, I'll raid into Sean, Trash King my good buddy. Yeah. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 19 of Power Rangers Cyber Strike. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I'd like to thank anyone on YouTube that is currently watching throughout the series and the playlist. Let me know what you think of the campaign so far. Again, we are, as always, we will be back next Tuesday, providing everything goes well. stay linked to my Discord or my Twitter to find that out. But yes, so Deluna, who are you and where can they find you?
If I'm on Twitch and YouTube at Dulin13, YouTube, Twitter at Dulin1338. Streams are on hold for right now because of personal reasons, like aka starting new jobs. That's the main reason that we had to go early today. I have to leave in about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Love playing with you guys as always. I will talk to y'all later.
Cheers, Deluna. Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you, dude. Choco, who are you and where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Choco Zombie 101. Twitch.tv/Choco Zombie 101. I don't stream, at least not yet. Twitter, Choco Zombie 101. Here Tuesdays playing Marika Hammond for Power Rangers Cyber Strike, and also here probably on Tuesdays, usually around 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Something else we have to decide yet. Look forward to it. Check my Twitter.
Cool. Cryptic, who are you and where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Cryptic Sergeant. I'm everybody's favorite tiefling. I stream World Domination Wrestling Saturdays at 8. Last week we had no show because we had our Collision Course pay-per-view hosted by Beowulf the Merc. Check that out, guys.
Fantastic. Dynamo Tom, my good friend. Who are you and where can they find you?
I'm Dynamo Tom. You can find me here on Tuesdays. I'm also on the internet and stuff. You can see me in the server.
Check out their art. It's fantastic. You see it all on Twitter with weekly updates. Really good. If I typed that in correctly, I have. And last but not least, Rosso, who are you and where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at RosoRyu. That is ROSOHRYU. You can find me on YouTube at ROSOH. I also tend to do a little bit of art for this particular game. If you've seen the profile pictures for the Rangers, whether they're morphed, unmorphed, unavailable, or in the very rare cases, being defeated, I do those as well. I play as R. Sawyer, the Undisputed Future, on M&W Warzone on Saturdays at Dr. Caliban's Twitch channel. And I also play as Debug on Cryptic's WDW show.
Yes. Rosso has provided the token art for the Rangers civilian forms and morph forms and for the Ranger overlays, which I am, again, very appreciative of. And of course, I am Twitch the Person. You can find me here on this channel every Tuesday at the moment for Power Rangers Cyber Strike, and look forward to my Friday slot being filled once more because I am working on a podcast type deal with a good friend of mine by the name of Gabriel Storm, aka the Plague Viking. He's been one of my best friends for the longest time. I went to college with him. Massive wrestling nerd like myself, former wrestling referee, and we've discussed the idea a couple of times of doing a podcast, so we're trying to work something out there for us. It won't be anything official-ish, but it'll be like us, like that, and I might even invite a couple of other people I know on. But yeah, so look forward to that in the near future. And also, I've started playing Final Fantasy 14 again. I played a little yesterday. I might play a little bit tomorrow. I might even play a little bit more later on tonight. I don't know. It depends if I can sleep. But yeah, thank you, one and all, for watching, continuing to support me, even if you're just lurking in the chat, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're taking an interest in anything that is going on in this campaign. For us, thank you very much. It means the world. I didn't think I would ever run a campaign, let alone run one for one of my favorite franchises. So stay safe. Be kind. If you can't be kind, shut the fuck up. And as always, hail pigeon.
Hail pigeon.
Go on, get the pigeon. Oh,
Look at the pigeon.
Hail pigeon.
wish I could get like
Hail.
wish I could get like that TikTok meme music to go over it. Anyway, go and support my good friend Sean, Trash King Arisen. And we will see you all next time on Power Rangers Cyberstrike. Why won't you raid?
Raid the Jonathan, darn you!
Look at the pigeon.
Look at the pigeon. Love the pigeon. Cherish the,
And
the pigeon.
Shill Sean.
Shill Sean.
Hashtag
Hashtag
Shill
Shill
Sean.
Sean. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good night.